Hey there, welcome back to another episode of BBTV. I'm your host Shay, co-founder of the Bucket List Bombshells. And on BBTV, we like to provide you with strategies to create an online business that gives you the freedom to design the life that you want. Now, don't forget to get notified for all videos whenever they drop. Just hit that subscribe button below and you will receive that notification. All right, let's dive into today's episode. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about the real numbers behind selling a profitable online course and how you can make money and how much you can make from selling an online course. So it's all about the numbers today, which is one of my favorite topics. For those of you who are BB students, you know I nerd out about the finance stuff. So I'm really excited to sit down with you guys today to talk about this. Okay, so you want to sell an online course. Now, what are the three key numbers or metrics that you need to know before you start selling your course so you can really understand and have a realistic expectation of how much you can make from your online course, and then also you can see how it can scale up as well. So there are three things I want to talk about with you today, and the first is your audience size. So what I mean by this is how many people are in your network. As a business, that means your email list, which that is going to be your number one thing. So I am going to talk a lot about your email list, but your total audience size does include social media followers, podcast followers, YouTube subscribers. I guess that's social media. I always classify social media as like different than YouTube and Pinterest, but so it's going to be your whole entire audience of people that follow you, that engage with you. It's going to be your website traffic. If you do advertising, it's going to be your ad audiences as well. So you want to think about your whole audience size and what that number is, because those are the people that are going to be your leads. Those are the people that are going to be the people that are going to buy your course. Now, I mentioned the email list because specifically a lot of the metrics and numbers that I'm going to be talking about today are related to the number of people you have on your email list, which is why it's so important to be creating free, valuable content that people are opting in for, providing you with their email address so that you are creating a database of leads who are interested in the topics that you're talking about. So for example, someone could be following you on social media, but they're not really that primed to buy from you or that engaged with you in your topic. The easiest way to know that and to get a really great sense of the number or size of the people that you are going to be pitching your course to is to have them on your email list. So you can have your big audience size number, but the number that I really want you to take into consideration when you are growing an audience is your email list. So try and get those social media followers, those subscribers, those people that are on the different networks and channels that you have. Try and get them by providing a free, valuable offer for them to opt in. So they give you their email in exchange for the free information from you. Create that for them so that they are on your email list and you know that you've qualified them as a lead, because a lot of the numbers I want to talk about today are going to be related to the email list, but I will talk about the overall audience. So the first number that you want to get familiar with, get in the know of, is how many people are in your audience. What is that total number? Maybe create yourself a little Excel sheet or a Google sheet and, write down and just give yourself a snapshot. I mean, that's the manual way. I'm sure there are lots of softwares that can do this for you, but I like the manual way. Just do a quick snapshot, your Instagram followers, your YouTube subscribers, your email list, your website traffic. Make sure you always have Google Analytics installed on your site so that you can see the amount of people visiting your site. And I'm trying to think of what, if you have advertising, your other advertising audiences. So just give yourself a nice breakdown. And then the total audience size. You need to know that number because we're going to talk about conversion rates next. And we need to know what our audience size is to really understand our conversion rates and what we can expect from our first course launch, and then also how we understand and forecast our future course launches based on our conversion rates. So step number two, or metric number two. conversion rate. So this is the percentage of people that are purchasing your course from the total number of people in your audience. So what I mean by that is I'm going to give you an example. I'm going to focus on your email list because the email list is pretty industry standard for where I'm getting these numbers from and based on our own conversion rates as well. So the industry standard is a 2% conversion rate. Now, let's actually break down what that looks like because I think a lot of people get very surprised by how low that is. Because, for example, if you have an email list number of 1,000 people, 2% of that is 20 sales. So you have an email list of 1,000, but you're going to convert 20 of them. That doesn't mean you're never going to convert more than that of those 1,000 people. Maybe in this period of time, the 2%, which is the industry average, are the people that are purchasing during that sale that you have, during that free offer that you have in your evergreen funnels. We talk about open launch and evergreen funnels in a different BBTV episode, so definitely check that out. So when people are converting, they are, taking action in a certain period of time. And the metric that we're looking at is industry standard 2%. So you have an email list of 1,000, you're going to convert 20 of those into your course. If your course is worth $500, then 20 sales is $10,000. So if you have an email list of 500, you're going to convert 2%, that's going to be 10, and then 10 of those are going to convert into $5,000 in sales. So this is focused on your email list. The conversion rate of your email list is going to be much higher than your overall total audience conversion. So I'm focusing on email lists because, again, that's industry standard and those are your leads. You've qualified them. That's why you're going to hit a higher conversion than your general audience. That number that you wrote down from all of the different channels that I told you to write down, it's going to be a really large audience size, especially if you're taking into consideration your website traffic. It's most likely going to be, compared to your email list, it's going to be a much larger number than your email list. And so the conversion rate there is going to be smaller. You're probably looking at less than 1%, which is why it's so important to get people onto your email list, because an email list conversion rate is way easier to track, to forecast, to focus on, because your email lists are your hot leads. They've told you they're interested in what you have to say, the topic you're talking about, and most likely they are saying, hey, I want to buy from you. So it's going to be an industry standard of 2% for the email list, which again translates down into the numbers that I shared with you. A quick and easy formula is to do 1,000 times 2% or 1,000 times 0.02. Your email list. I was saying 1,000. Your email list times the number of your email list times 2%. You can do that on your calculator if you have the percent function, or your email list size times 0.02. So that's going to get you your industry standard conversion rate, and that should be the number that you're aiming for your first course launch. Now, if you get higher or lower, that's where then you are now understanding your audience and you're understanding your conversion rate for your business, and you are going to take that conversion rate, your conversion rate, to use in your calculations to forecast your next launch from there. Okay, so I also want to mention though that I have seen 5 to 10% conversion rates when you do an open launch, which we talked about in another BBTV episode. When we do an open launch, and maybe that's offering a free challenge, maybe that's doing a live workshop, there's some sort of higher touch point, access point to your audience. So they're showing up live for something, or even if they're watching the replays, they're consuming them in a set period of time. And then you're offering probably a juicy bonus, a juicy offer in a short period of time as well. And when you have that more one-on-one connection, and you have that, hype and that launch party and that excitement around it, you can potentially see higher conversions, which is very common with in the industry to see 5 to 10% during those peak periods of excitement or different types of launches you're doing. So again, using those numbers is going to help you forecast or predict the number of sales that you are going to hit, because I don't want you to run into something where, like me, when I first launched our very first course back years ago, our very first one, I was so overhyped. I was like, yes, this is going to hit so many, like we're going to convert everybody out there. And, we were new. We'd also, you got to think about all the things that go into a launch that you learn along the way. And we launched it. And we hit that 2% conversion rate. We only had, we had less than 1,000. And we hit 20 sales in that first one. I think it was 24 sales. We had 24 sales. I remember that like it was yesterday, 24 sales. And I was expecting us to hit like hundreds. And so it was such a humbling moment. And so it's always something I like to share with people in the beginning, is to just make sure that you are being realistic and you're setting your expectations within what the average is, so that we are setting out and we're saying, yes, we're getting excited and we're like 20 people. That's amazing. I recently did a launch where we enrolled, I think it was 41, I want to say. And like every single one counts. So like 20 is amazing, 40 is amazing, 5 is amazing. So you just want to make sure that you are setting up, what I want for you is to set up realistic expectations when you are going to launch your course, because I feel like there's a lot of misconceptions around how many sales you're actually going to make. And so that brings me to point number 3, which is the product price and how much you can make. So in my example of the 2% of 1,000, which was 20 sales at $500, so the course price set was $500, you would make $10,000 from that sale. From that launch, sorry. And so I chose 500 because that's just kind of the average price point that popped into my head. But when we're thinking about our product price, this is what you're going to use when you are forecasting your sales. So you have your conversion rate, and let's say you are anticipating 20 sales. You take that 20 sales, times it by your product price, boom, you have your forecast. But how do you set a product price? So a couple methods that I like to think about is, the first one being, is your course a signature course? Is it like a larger transformation, longer, more content, a longer period of time? Maybe someone sees the results. It's a 90-day course. Like it's more robust. It's like everything. It's your step by step. Okay, so that's going to need a higher price point. That's like your most valuable knowledge, your most valuable content. So you want to go and compare what are other courses priced at in that range. Usually those signature products are going to be between $1,000 to $3,000. So you definitely want to take a look at what the industry standards are for large courses like that. And then for your mini courses or your courses on like a specific topic, a course that's going to be consumed in less time, maybe a week, maybe 2, and they're able to take those action steps like pretty quickly and implement it. It's going to be like smaller bite-size courses on a specific, probably niche or specific topic versus your step-by-step. Those ones, again, you want to look at the standards. They range anywhere from $97 up to $297 or $300. So you want to be thinking about the value for content that you're providing and what the industry standard price points. Because the lower the price points, the higher you would need to get a conversion to, say, reach that goal. If you had a $10,000 goal and your course was only $100, you would need 100 sales. I think I calculated that correctly. I should have wrote that down. So whereas when it's $500, you only need those 20 sales. So I hope my math is right there, but I think you get the point of that when we're talking about how much money we can create from a course. You want to think about what is your course value as well, and then working backwards from there, using your email list, using that conversion rate, setting realistic expectations for yourself is going to make the process so much more enjoyable, and you're really going to be able to see, how much you can actually make. So getting back into product pricing, because I gave you those just basic examples there. Obviously, low price point means you need to convert more people to achieve the same result as a higher price point with less conversions. But a pricing strategy that I want to share with you when it comes to product pricing, the first one was industry standards, looking at what the industry is pricing at, so that you're not priced, too low or you're not too high, that you're really fitting in that median range when you're getting started. And then from there, that's really doing market research on your end over a period of time to learn how to price your course according to your audience. So knowing your audience and what their price sensitivity levels are is going to be the journey that you will be on with your product pricing. But a really cool strategy that I want to share with you that we learned in between our first and our second course launch was called tiered pricing strategy, or three-tiered pricing. And what you do with 3-tiered pricing is you give them 3 options. So you give them the lower price point, which is pretty like do it yourself, the bare bones, the basics of your course. Then you have the middle option, which is what the first option was, so your course, bare bones course, and then bonuses. So something that helps them get to the results faster. So it's like a time and money thing. So someone with a budget, they're willing to spend more of their time to save money. So might choose option number 1. The next tier up is going to be more expensive, more expensive, like let's say $100, and we have $150, but they're getting extra bonuses that help them create the results faster. So then we have that time money where they're like, okay, I'm going to pay more, but I'm going to get results maybe quicker because of the bonuses that you're adding in here. And then the third one is like the premium package. So maybe this one's $250, but they get a higher touch point with you. They get all of the things from the first 2 tiers, more bonuses, extra bonuses, stuff that really cuts down on their time. These are the people that value their time versus saving money. So they're going to spend more if you are going to help them achieve results faster. So the 3-tier strategy, which has a lot of research behind it, shows that the majority of people are actually going to purchase that middle tier, right? But the balance between who is purchasing the top tier and the low tier, you're actually going to find that you will make less sales in the top tier, but more revenue. So this goes back to that price point where you don't have to convert as many people into the top tier, but you make more because it's a higher price point. But the majority of your sales are going to come from here. So you're going to in the middle tier. But the majority of your revenue, you most likely will find will come from the top tier. And then you will actually find that it's only a small percentage of people, very small percentage of people, that will purchase that bottom lower tier. So the 3-tiered pricing strategy is one of my favorite ones to use, and it's also going to help you so much when it comes to utilizing that conversion rate of 2%, but making more revenue in the end because of having the different price point options. Okay, so I hope that got real today with you about the numbers, gave you some perspective on forecasting, on being realistic, but also got you excited by how much money you could make with an online course. So thank you for sitting down with me again today on BBTV. I'm your host, Shay. I had a wonderful time chatting with you, and I'll see you in another episode. Bye. Enjoyed today's episode of BBTV? I invite you to join our passive profit free 4-day challenge. Come and learn more about how to create, launch, and sell your first online course with our guest host, Louise Henry. Louise transitioned from a service-based business owner into a multi-million-dollar course creator, and she's sharing with us how she did it in her upcoming free 4-day challenge. In this challenge, you'll learn how to choose a profitable course idea, how to plan and create your course content, and the exact sales funnel system you need to make consistent passive income from your course. Simply register below using the link in the video description. We cannot wait to see you there.